So D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser became a little bit of like a hero figure within some elements of the protest movement and discussion, and certainly on cable news and among, the punditocracy, when she had Black Lives Matter painted on the street. It's actually just right outside the building here. We walk over it every morning, right outside of the White House. And so, a big show of resistance and solidarity with the protesters. So then we dig in a little bit deeper. Now, first of all, I don't actually follow D.C. politics that closely, so I don't know her record in the city all that well. But I did know that she endorsed Michael Bloomberg for president, Mr. Stop and Frisk. So I was not super, I was a little skeptical of her actual commitment to these issues. So now she has an interview with NPR where, to their credit, they push her on, okay, so what exactly are your policies? What are you actually going to do to change? In particular, they say, look, the budget you put out last month calls for increasing funding for the police. Are you reconsidering your position in any way? To which she answers, not at all. So there you go. That's how far the commitment to change went. It went as far as painting Black Lives Matter in front of the White House, her equivalent, I guess, of the Pelosi clap. There you go. And by the way, in walking through that square every morning, activists have been calling her out with their own chalk markings and other indications about how she endorsed Bloomberg, about her policies on policing. So the actual activists on the ground are seeing right through all of this.
Yeah, but you're seeing that the activists themselves have no real power in this. The Democratic leaders don't care what they think. I mean, this is what I said. This is really
well, in Minneapolis, it changed instantly and dramatically.
We'll see how long that one fakes. And actually, that's also where the actual murder happened itself. So if you look here on the ground, this is who Muriel Bowser is. Endorses Bloomberg. She painted a mural. A lot of the upper middle class white people who live in the D.C. suburb or in D.C. and who pay, a lot of the money to gentrification and all that, they love it. They're going out there. I could see Instagram people out there every single morning during the golden hour on my way into the city. They don't actually want to defund the police. They just want to put it on a sign and take a photo for all their friends back home. So in a way, Muriel Bowser is perfectly representing her constituents.
True.
And this is really what I think the protest movement is much more about. Nike, Disney, and all these other people. These activists can say whatever they want. They have zero power in the conversation. The Democratic Party doesn't care what they think. They're completely against public opinion. And I think this is just a perfect example.
Well, again,
she's not going to be responsive to you.
On the one hand, you're obviously 100% correct. Like, look at her, look at, de Blasio, look at Cuomo, look at the, moderate reforms that Democrat, right. Yeah. Look at the moderate reforms that Democrats are offering in the House. I covered Joe Biden, who wants to fund, not defund, he wants to fund the police in response to activists. On the other hand, a lot of this conversation is at the state and the local level. And in Minneapolis, where activists had been pushing in this direction for a long time, even before George Floyd's murder, when that murder sparked the uprising, the protests, all of the things that happened there, they were in position to act, and they actually have gotten some real results. Now, look, you're right. Remains to be seen what that looks like,
and remember
how they move
right?
forward.
The mayor said, no, I'm not going to defund.
Right, but the city count, and so that battle is ongoing. But that is a real win, and the fact that the activists were organized and knew what they wanted and jumped right into action made a huge difference on the ground here. And everybody is having to talk about budget priorities and where the money goes in a way that conversation has really never happened before. So I think that in and of itself is really important for shifting what people are sort of allowed in their minds to think about and ask for. But I wouldn't count on people like Muriel Bowser to do much more than painting Black Lives Matter.
Muriel Bowser will take that conversation on defund or on budgets and take the money from the Bloomberg Philanthropy Organization. And as I will pour it into some woke social justice program to talk about diversity initiatives for entrepreneurs and grants more than she will ever addressing any of the structural problems in our city. And so that's what I think most of this thing is really all about.
There you go. More rising for you after this.